Welcome back, and starting the first segment of Breakfast Show, and we are joined in the studio by Mr. Mohamed, Sheta, media expert. Hello, sir, and good morning.
Very beautiful good morning to you and to all your magnificent viewers of Nile TV.
Thank you. And first, we're going to start with the main headlines in Al-Akhbar al-Yawm, where President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi praised and honored on Tuesday the policemen killed in recent years in a celebration marking a police day, saying that Egypt is fighting a vicious war and the whole world knows that it is fighting it alone. El-Sisi said Egypt has been fighting a 40-month war fought by men who took the responsibility to protect Egyptians, referring to policemen. The president called on the Egyptian people to support the police and all state institutions. El-Sisi warned that the war against the country aims to divide it, saying that there were attempts in 2011 to create a division between the police and army and between the people and the army. How do you see the statements made by the President yesterday in the celebration of the National Police Day?
Well, I think President al-Sisi used this opportunity to tackle several issues besides congratulating the police forces to its anniversary. I think he also talked about the current circumstances in the Middle East region. Of course, it shows that we have many ongoing conflicts, not only in the region but also internationally. The fact that also Donald Trump
came to power.
Not only came to power, but also talked to him during the last few days, and the fact that apparently that after this phone call, President Donald Trump kind of convinced the Israeli government of not moving the U.S. embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Probably there are a lot of things going on behind closed doors which we, the public, are not really much aware of, and the fact that all the visits which Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry did during the past couple of days, also the communication with the Libyan governments during the past couple of days. I think there are a lot of things going on, and I think this was a good opportunity in order also to boost the self-confidence of the armed forces and the police forces during this anniversary. And yeah, I think he tried to of course he during his speech he tackled also other issues, more civil issues, like the economy and the documentations of the divorce matters and things like that. So definitely, I think it was an interesting opportunity for him to tackle all these issues at one day, and yeah, let's hopefully that things will calm down during the next couple of days. Of course, Donald Trump coming to power is going to make it a very entertaining and a very unpredictable phase coming.
Shakeable, sorry, period of our lives. Okay.
Definitely.
And moving to Al-Ahram newspaper, where we read Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry headed Egypt's delegation to Tunisia on Tuesday and met with his Tunisian counterpart, and the two foreign ministers discussed the two countries' vision on ending the crisis in Libya. Tunisia is working to coordinate the positions of Egypt, Tunisia and Algeria on Libya to restart the country's stalled progression towards a political settlement. Shoukry is also scheduled to visit the Tunisian parliament, where he will be received by Speaker Mohamed El-Ansur. How do you see the visit of Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry, and why he went headed to Tunis?
As I just mentioned a few seconds ago, Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry was very active during the past couple of days. There are some rumors behind the curtains that Egypt might intervene in a military way in Libya. So they're trying to discuss this with the decision makers, not only in Libya but also in the United States and Tunisia and all the other neighboring countries. So probably this is what's really happening behind closed doors. So it's we can only predict, but we'll have to wait and see what will happen during the next few weeks and months. We know that the United States is under no circumstances willing to enter or to do any military actions in the Middle East or the North African region anytime soon, especially after the U.S. ambassador to Libya was assassinated, was killed a few 1 or 2 years ago. So I don't think so actually Egypt is kind of doing the United States a few favors in case they would be taking some military actions. And of course it's also in the interest of Egypt to calm things down in the region, especially with our neighboring countries, especially our direct neighboring country, Libya, even if it's with the military force.
Okay, and moving to El Masri Al-Yawm, where the spokesperson of the armed forces, Colonel Tamer El-Rifai, said on Tuesday that the successful operation by the armed forces resulted in killing 3 Takfiri militants and arresting 11 others. The raid also resulted in defusing an amount of explosive materials in addition to devastating 4 residents where the sanctuary for terrorists, 4-wheeled drives and 3 motorcycles. Still, the operation in fighting terrorism going on, and of course in Sinai. Both sides, we have killing from both sides, from the police side and from the terrorist side, and no one knows when the bloodshed is going to stop.
Well, it's very difficult to figure out when it will stop. But the thing is, if I recall it correctly, President Sisi mentioned in his recent speech that they found, I think, 100 tons of explosive devices and material with those terrorist groups, which have which are worth, I think he mentioned something like $400 million or something like this. So apparently. There's lots of money coming to these terrorist groups. I don't know where they're coming from exactly. I don't think. I mean, of course, there are rumors that some countries and some groups in some countries are supporting these groups and providing them with money. So it seems that it's not going to be very easy to get rid of them completely. But the fact that Donald Trump mentioned that he will eradicate Islamist terrorist groups from the face of the earth, I think is probably a statement which could help Egypt in fighting those terrorist groups during the next couple of months.
Okay, and moving to Al-Yawm Al-Saba, where we read Russian Transport Minister said on Tuesday that Egyptian Civil Aviation Minister Sherif Fathi will visit Moscow on February from 8 to 9. According to Sokolov, the visit will take place during the National Civil Aviation Infrastructure exhibition. Sokolov said earlier that the air service between Russia and Egypt was likely to be resumed in January 2017. The minister also said that at first, flights to Cairo International Airport will resume, while flights to Hurghada and Sharm el-Sheikh will follow. What's your opinion about resuming the flights of Russia to Egypt and, of course, in Sharm el-Sheikh and Hurghada, the Red Sea Resort?
Well, I think they have been planning to do this for quite some time now. I mean, I think we talked about this issue several times during the Nile TV breakfast show. It's maybe taking a little bit too long, but we're getting to the point which Egypt wants, and this is the complete resuming of the flights, not only to Cairo but also to the other cities like Hurghada and Sharm el-Sheikh, which are actually key resorts and key vacation destination for the Russian tourists. So this is good news, and I heard also that Germany is also taking similar steps, or has already taken similar steps. So this is a very good sign for the tourism for this year.
Okay, and moving to Al Shuruq newspaper, where Egypt's ambassador to Germany, Badr Abdelati, said on Tuesday that efforts by the embassy have resulted in removing the last restrictions on the flow of tourist flights to and from Sharm el-Sheikh and South Sinai area. The Federal Ministry of Transport in Germany issued an announcement exempting German airliners from the notice not fly below 26,000 feet when passing over the north of Sinai Peninsula. This is a first for the aviation services to Egypt since the downing of the Russian passenger jet over Sinai in 2015. So the country is taking serious steps in order to resume the flights of the international flights once again to Sinai and Sharm el-Sheikh and Hurghada.
This is actually a very important step, which is coming only a few weeks before the International Tourism exhibition in Berlin, the very famous ITB exhibition. And this is one of the most important tourism exhibitions in the world where Egypt is always very, very active. So this will result in making flights to Egypt a little bit cheaper for the German tourists. And we know that the competition between Egypt and Tunisia and Turkey, for example, in attracting German tourists is extremely high. So this will definitely give us a bit more of advantage against the other touristic destination. I know Ambassador Badr Abdelati very well, and I was actually talking to him a couple of days ago. He's a very active ambassador, actually, and I talked to him because actually he's also very active in attracting German investors for the Suez Canal corridor investment zone, and he just met with some German automotive managers, high-ranking automotive managers a few days ago, and they have already told him that they had a gathering also with with former Minister Ahmed Darwish, who's now in charge of the Suez Canal Investment Authority, and it's about the German company. You know that Mercedes closed their factory in Egypt 2 years ago, and now they are considering coming back and investing in Egypt.
We don't want to mention names.
No, not about mentioning it, but I think it's important for the people to know that which big companies are coming to Egypt, because actually this is what Egypt is trying to do, is to attract investors. So they need to know who is considering to come to Egypt. I think this is a very important step, and the government is doing everything possible to attract foreign investors. And I think what President El-Sisi should do, actually, Donald Trump just met with the three managers of the three big American car companies in Egypt, the big Detroit Three, how they call them in the United States. And I think President Sisi should do the same, actually. He should sit directly with the big CEOs of the big car companies and tell them, what do you want in order to come to Egypt and build the factories?
The
exactly.
procedures.
I think just a meeting on a ministerial level, I think, is not enough, because many of the Egyptian investors who have assembly lines in Egypt are actually not interested in attracting the mother companies to come to Egypt, because they're doing a huge profit margin.
Good money.
They're doing very good money here. They have a profit margin from 30 to 80% for the cars, especially as we know that in Egypt, we only produce or assemble low quality and low budget cars, like the the Korean cars, for example, or the American cars, or even some Japanese cars, and they have a huge profit margin. And if their mother company would come to invest, like they're doing, for example, in Morocco or in Algeria, the profit margin would only be 10%, like it's all over the world. So they're not actually very interested in getting these people here, and this has also something to do with the latest automotive strategy, the national automotive strategy, which was actually signed by or approved by President El-Sisi and was delivered to the House of Parliament, and then it was returned back to the Ministry of Industry. And I think the President El-Sisi should really get some experts together and take the opinions of all the international automotive managers in order to get the other to get another opinion as well, because like I said, unfortunately, most of those investors who have their locally assembly lines here in Egypt, they're not very interested in attracting foreign investors. And the problem is that some of them were related to some ministers, and even one, if you recall, even the former Minister of Transport, Mohamed Mansour, for example, his family owns one of those car companies, for example. And I think we need also a new law of nepotism in Egypt in order to really What's رقابة إدارية in English?
I don't have it. It's not in my mind right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's okay. رقابة إدارية, which is probably
It's a monitoring authority.
The monitoring authority, exactly. The monitoring authority was very active during the past couple of weeks, and I think it's about time that they open also the files of the automotive sector in Egypt, because I think that there's lots of potential for helping to boost the Egyptian economy and get rid of some problems we had in this automotive sector, and I hope they really open those files very soon.
Well, Mr. Mohamed, Sheta media expert, thank you very
much.
much.
We ran out of time again.
Yeah, again.
Okay, have a lovely day. And please tell all of your viewers not to forget the umbrella today, because it's probably going to rain very heavily in Egypt.
But it's warm, which is something
that's a
good.
Thing, yes.
And now we come to the end of our first segment of Breakfast Show, so please stay tuned for more coming up.